I wanted to go over why Hollow Knight Silksong actually needs a showcase announcement. There are a lot of doubters out there who believe that Hollow Knight Silksong could potentially just release on Hollow Knight Silksong's own YouTube channel, Team Cherry's YouTube channel, you know, the developers, or it could come up in a blog post, or it could come up on Twitter, X, whatever. I don't think that that's going to be the case, and I'm going to kind of go over why today. First off, I want to say that Hollow Knight's community is large, but it's not as big as like Zelda or Call of Duty or some of these other places that have millions of people in their subreddits. I'm not saying that Hollow Knight is tiny, but I think that it's kind of a vocal minority. When I see different posts online, especially on X, somebody might say, hey, what is your favorite game, or what is the most anticipated game of the year? I see way more people talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 than I see talking about Hollow Knight Silksong. There are lots of people who are talking about just a lot of other games in general. And yeah, I think that we do have a passionate community, and we are able to make waves, especially in some live events, and not in a good way. Some of you guys can be a little bit over the top, to say the least. So I always appreciate it when everyone kind of floods Primicon's live streams and goes crazy over there. That way it leaves some of the craziness out of like the official channel streams, and it makes us look just a little bit less bad. You guys can go Silksong yourselves to death over with Primicon, and you know what? He enjoys it. I enjoy it too, not gonna lie. That said, Team Cherry's almost been silent since 2019, which was the original release announcement for Hollow Knight Silksong. And so you got to remember, from a casual perspective, like, there's plenty of people who didn't even know Hollow Knight Silksong was a thing, or maybe they've heard it through the grapevine here and there that Hollow Knight Silksong is coming, or that there is a sequel coming out eventually. But the ones who are watching this video, specifically you're watching everything Hollow Knight Silksong related, and you're in the know, and you're just like clenching at every little bit of copium, trying to breathe it in, hoping for some news. And I'm telling you, there's tons and tons of people who played Hollow Knight, beat the game, didn't even know Silksong was a thing, because not everyone is paying attention to gaming news like we are. And so we're holding on to that. And I think that there are so many people who played Hollow Knight and either never learned about Hollow Knight Silksong, or even learned about Silksong, and it's been almost 7 years since the original announcement. We're coming up on it. I mean, I guess it'd be February next year. It's not going to hit 7 years exactly, but you get what I'm saying. It's a long time. I think that they really need to hit that mainstream community. I think that they really do need a showcase to really get Silksong back into the community. Could it spread like wildfire by word of mouth? Would it blow up on all the different social medias? Yes, it would, but I still think that they're going to have it come through a showcase. And the reason being is that a showcase is instant global reach and hype. Their blog post or something like that, yeah, we're going to find it. The Hollow Knight Silksong community that's already into Hollow Knight Silksong is going to find it quickly, and we're going to talk about it and have lots of different chatter. But if you want everyone to talk about it all at the same time very, very quickly, I think that it's going to come in some sort of showcase or direct or some version of that, whether it's a Nintendo Direct, an Xbox showcase, whatever. It's going to be something that's going to have a worldwide audience. We've also never seen Team Cherry do an official announcement on just their channels, even though they talked about, hey, any new and upcoming news was going to come directly from Team Cherry. I don't think that that means that it was just going to come specifically and only from one of their channels. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think all they were trying to say is, we're not going to get news of a release date from Leth. No offense to Leth, it's not going to come from him. It's going to come directly from Team Cherry, and if it does come, I think that it's going to come on some sort of showcase. Because if it comes up from a showcase, it's going to come from something that Team Cherry prepared, and it's going to be the marketing that they are pushing out. So in effect, it is coming from Team Cherry. On just more of a personal note, with talking with Leth, I've always told him that kind of my way of handling the copium and the hopium of Hollow Knight Silksong and just kind of waiting for the game is, I was just going to wait until we have the specific, what he likes to call marketing beats, of when Hollow Knight Silksong could potentially be announced or be released. So when we have those times of the year when there's not a whole lot going on, where there's not a whole lot of presentations and whatever else, we can just chill. There's probably nothing going to happen. But when we do have a direct or a Games Fest or an announcement type event happening, that's when it's best to just put your ear to the ground and get ready. Does it mean that something's going to happen? No, we got completely burned during Summer Game Fest. We got a couple of seconds of announcements through the Xbox ROG Ally X, which some people aren't going to agree with me. I think the thing looks great. I know some people aren't going to agree with me, but I think the Xbox ROG Ally X looks great. I love being able to game on the go. I would love to play Hollow Knight Silksong on that thing. Just saying, Xbox, contact me. I'm all about it. Put me in, coach. I got your content. Just say it. That said, I don't think that we got enough information. We were all hoping for more. We were hoping for some little tidbit of a release date. And so as of right now, as it stands, we just know that Hollow Knight Silksong is coming out before the holiday season. I mean, it didn't really help us out that much. We know it's coming out this year. It's coming out this year. I think that they probably had to restrain themselves a little bit. Team Cherry's probably had to say, okay, we can't drag this out any longer. Even though they don't have a publisher telling them, hey, this is the date you have to submit something, they're probably just had too much scope creep going on. And I believe them. I believe them this time. They're going to do it. I hope. I'm pretty sure we're getting Silksong this year. I'm fairly confident, pretty optimistic even. Have there been big games that just like shadow dropped out of nowhere? Or even then, like, let's say I'm trying to think of a game that shadow dropped. Apex Legends. That was one that shadow dropped, but it shadow dropped at an event. And then it had all that marketing hype behind it because it was a AAA game and they put out tons of ads and whatever else. Team Cherry, Silksong, they're not going to be putting out tons of ads. I can't even imagine. They've got so much buzz with just earned media, which is just free from people talking about it, like this guy and Primicon. All the different communities, you know what I mean? They won't need to run ads, but it's definitely going to help them if they do release something at a showcase as opposed to a blog post or a video on their own channel. Even the announcement, the original announcement, that came out on Nintendo first. You know what I mean? It's not just going to be something that we all miss. I don't think that that's how this is going down. No way. At this point, every game, news outlet, whatever you want to call it, publisher, they all want to be the ones who gets to break and announce Hollow Knight Silksong being released. You know what I mean? Like, you know that Jeff Keighley with the not the Xbox Game Showcase, but the Summer Games Fest, he's chomping at the bit to talk about Hollow Knight Silksong. You know he wants to release it, but whoever gets to do it, like at this point, do they have to pay Team Cherry to be the one who gets to release it? Like, Hollow Knight Silksong is going to be on Xbox. It's going to be on the Game Pass. It's going to be on both the PlayStation consoles, Nintendo Switch. It's going to be on Steam. It's going to be everywhere. I mean, the only places I can think of where we don't know it's going to be is some of those like random streaming platforms. Like, is it going to be on Amazon Luna? Do you guys even know what Amazon Luna is? All I'm saying is that it's going to be everywhere, so it could be announced anywhere, which means that like we have to watch and pay attention to every showcase and direct and blah, 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 because we don't know where it's going to show up, which is kind of exciting. I've been very excited to be a Hollow Knight fan, and I cannot wait to see where they announce this thing. I do my best to kind of pull away and not get too excited when there's nothing going on, but there's times like this where it's like we're getting close to the countdown. Like we're coming closer and closer to the end of the year, where I honestly don't believe that they're going to shadow drop Hollow Knight Silksong. I fully believe that they are going to give us some sort of release date, and it will be a 2 or 3 weeks heads up. And then after that, then they're going to reach out to all of the backers who are going to get a free copy of the game and just re-up and figure out what are their email addresses, what are their, if they're going to get I don't know if they're going to do physical copies of the game for them or not, or if it's all going to be digital. I don't know, but they're going to need to be able to deliver that to everybody and know what console or platform or whatever that they're going to play on. So I don't think that they're going to shadow drop. I hope they don't, so I can schedule some time off of work. I would love to be able to just be free and clear to just be able to play the game, be able to stream it so I can just enjoy it, and then go back to playing the game all over again, but making all the tutorials. That's kind of my plan. That's what I'm hoping on. So at this point, Silksong has done really well at the different showcases that they've done. So they did the 2019 Nintendo Direct, which is where they were showcased, announced. And then in 2022, they did the Xbox showcase. So could it be that they wait and then do a PlayStation thing? So then they've hit every single major platform? I have a feeling that would be a very interesting way to go about it. So that way you're kind of giving love to all of the different platforms. That's actually one of the reasons why I thought it might show up at Summer Game Fest, is because that is a kind of a platform agnostic. You got games from all of the different platforms that get shown off there. But I guess it wasn't ready in time for all of that. So I don't know. I just don't think PlayStation doesn't just do random events mid-year. That's more of a PlayStation thing. Xbox too. I mean, Xbox doesn't just do random game events in the middle of the year either. If anything, other than a random Nintendo event in the middle of the year, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the next big thing that comes up is the end of year Game Awards. Yeah, that would be kind of weird if it waited until all the way then. I feel like that would be too late, because this year the 2025 Game Awards will be on Thursday, December 11th, which it's too late. That's I guess that is kind of holidays. It did say it was going to come out during holiday season. It's just really late. I don't want it to come out as late as December 11th. That would not surprise me at this point with how things have been going. They say, oh, it'll come out this year, and then they wait until the last second. They'll wait until December 31st. Oh, no, they said before holidays. So not December 31st, December 24th. And then they release. That'd be dirty. I hope they don't do something like that. So all of that to say, I think that it would make way more sense for Hollow Knight Silksong to be released at some sort of conference, game event type thing. I just did a quick Google search, and the next several events for between now and the end of the year are Gamescom 2025, which is August 20th through the 24th. That could have a little something in there. Other than that, we've got the Tokyo Game Show, which is end of September 2025. I have a feeling we won't see anything there, but that is Sony, Square, Enix, and Capcom, those types of publishers. So it being a Sony thing, it's kind of a stretch, but could it be at a Sony event? Maybe. I don't think that Tokyo Game Show is quite as big as some of these other ones. And then I feel like the last major one for the end of the year is the Game Awards, but like I said, it's so late on December 11th. Is it possible that there's a random Sony State of Play, like a random one in September, October? I think that's a fair play. If we don't see anything at Nintendo the end of July, then maybe that September, October timeframe in a random Sony State of Play. I think that's the next best idea of when we could see something other than that. I don't think that there is like a random Xbox showcase that would come up. I don't know. It will be interesting to see where it lands, where we do finally get Hollow Knight Silksong news. It'll be interesting to see kind of where everything lands and like who was right, who was wrong, who had the right ideas of like how all this plays out. I feel like I've done a good job of trying to tamper expectations a little bit and kind of lead you off on the right foot and say, okay, this is when we could get stuff, but not I guess in summer I did go a little overboard with Hopium. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you guys for watching the video. Let me know what you think. When do you think we're gonna get Hollow Knight Silksong? Do you think that we're going to get something before the whole Acme event that is going on with the museum in Australia. I don't know how that plays into all of this. I'm getting really confused, but I'd be very surprised if Team Cherry shows up on the day that the devs show up out there and they're just like, oh yeah, Silksong. But you know they're going to get bombarded with Silksong questions if they show up. You know what I mean? Like, how could they not? So, who knows? We'll see how it all goes. So, anyways, I'll talk to you all again more real soon. Thanks. Bye.